fuck. I just realized that I actually forgot to set this to the ASMR category, because I'm going to be using my 3D IO today, and I don't know how much that's going to be, different, I guess? I don't know, man. Something about how, like, close I get to the mic with the 3D IO sounds really weird to me, but that's maybe just me. I'm sure to some people it sounds really nice, but I don't really think I have the voice for, like, ASMR, but, I don't know. We're just gonna fuck around a little and, fuck around and find out, you know? Alcade, congrats on being first. Void, Alcade, congrats on being first. Void, congrats on being second. Drywall Leader, congrats on being third. I hope you guys are comfy cozy tonight. Happy Friday. Good job on making it to the end of the week. I bet you fellas are, nice and comfortable and hopefully, done with the week, which, I mean, you know, here. So, I don't know, get comfy. I'm probably gonna yap just a little bit before I actually get started. So I've never actually played Castlevania 2, but, I think it's kind of funny. How does he do it? He doesn't. I don't. Let's be real here. I'm not very good at this whole streaming thing, or at least I pretend that I'm not very good at it. People say that I am, but I don't believe them. So, you know, I'm good at lying. Lying's fun. Lying's easy. It's a natural part of how we live and breathe. Listen, Chad, you're telling me you would never tell a lie? That's a fucking lie in itself. Oh my goodness, you're getting something objectively wrong. That's a lie. I bet you've lied to your parents before. It's okay. Sometimes I think that maybe lies are anyway. How's everybody doing? Only going around for be a free feud. The ASMR stuff ain't for me. No, that's completely valid. I know. The thing is that I think that these stories are typically really fucking funny. We did the what's the word? We did Metal Gear, right? The Worlds of Power Metal Gear, and we did Worlds of Power Mega Man. So if you don't remember, Scholastic back in the 1980s did something called Worlds of Power. Now, when video games first came around, I'm here for the stupidest writing I've ever seen. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't really think anybody should be here, like, with the concept of just, like, yeah, I'm gonna get off to Noona speaking into a microphone, because let's be fucking real here, like, I don't, you weren't even a twinkle in your dad's eye around then. Yeah, I know, but it is kind of funny. But the Worlds of Power books are notoriously bad, and they're forgotten by history, because for many good reasons. So, you know, that's besides the point. It is funny. Yeah, so, you know, back then, video games were considered something new and something to be scared of. And because of how Christian and Catholic a lot of America was back then, you ended up having a society that saw video games as, I don't know, the coming of the Antichrist. And that's kind of a, you know, that's kind of a funny prospect. It's the same thing with them thinking that Pokemon is like some horrible satanic cult shit. They're apparently, I mean, I guess that's anything for everything, right? Like, I don't know if anybody here remembers, but like Team Fortress 2 had a fucking massive outlet of like moms against TF2, and I think that's really fucking funny. I figure they were more considered kids and toys, hence why they got these books. Right. And I think that's an important distinction to remember. To many people, video games are considered toys, and I think they should, you know, for many, they should be considered as such. Let me get the mic pointed at me a little more. It's getting a little more in my face, but all right, cool. But that being said, I think it's kind of funny to look back at a lot of the writing and see what they decided to do to counteract the oncoming wave of video games being attractive to kids. So, in order to, you know, go against it, they decided that the best thing to do would be to write books based on the games that existed. So Scholastic published a series of books called Worlds of Power. So things like Mega Man, fucking Dig Dug, I think? Castlevania 2. Here, Worlds of Power. Alright. Series of novelizations. You had Blaster Master, Metal Gear, Ninja Gaiden, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, Wizards and Warriors, Bionic Commando, Infiltrator, Mega Man 2, Bases Loaded. So, the Mega Man 2 one wasn't that great, but the Metal Gear one was fucking hilarious. things like a microwave hallway, or things like he wipes panther musk on himself in order to fight back against dogs or some shit like that. It's some really funny shit. So I guess early to mid 80s with arcade machines, it was Satanic Panic as it came in with the D&D era. These books feel more like, yeah, no, for sure. So I don't know. There's a whole variety of things to laugh at when it comes to a lot of this stuff. So like, I don't really think there's anything wrong with people feeling somewhat. I don't know. I feel like I'm definitely in that camp of just like, this is something that we can all laugh at, but it's okay. Jack, good morning. Jack, hi. So I haven't turned on to my 3DIO yet. What other books were there in this series? So Blaster Master, Ninja Gaiden, Wizards and Warriors, what the fuck, Dad, no hair tie, Uncanny. Yeah, no, I've had my hair down as like a thing for a while now. You can, I mean, if you want the ponytail back, there's a hair tie, there's a hair toggle redeem if you want. So I gotta figure out how I'm gonna actually do the whole like outfit, different like hair stuff, toggle stuff once I get more outfits later down the line. But Ninja Gaiden and Bionic Kano, those are schizo choices. Well, like, I remember, like, this is the 1980s, right? Is this written by a bunch of white folks? So, like, I legitimately have to wonder what the fuck, like, Ninja Gaiden by A.L. Singer is supposed to be. I think that's genuinely hilarious to, like, think about. Because it's like, like, I wonder how, like, inherently racist it is my best way to fucking put it. Which, I don't know, man. Fucking, it could be worse. Let's see. Related media. Worlds of Power series of NES adaptations. Almost half of these are written by the same person. So it makes me really sad because the best writer out of all of these was definitely Alexander Frost. He was about as schizo as can get, but these aren't good. And they're really funny. So the Mega Man 2 one started off as pretty funny, but it got pretty repetitive because they had to go through the whole like Robot Masters, which, I mean, that's par for the course for fucking Mega Man, but it's a little bit of a shame. So cozy times with Dad. Hi Sinistar, welcome on in, welcome. So I'm gonna switch microphones right now, so just give me a quick second. Let me also, let's see, raining 4 hours for let's see, 3 hours of gentle night rain. Hell yeah. Oh, it's happening. I apologize for nothing. What happened? Okay. There it is. Okay, we gotta get the ambiance going, fellas. All right. Okay. Can you hear me? Maybe I should reset the camera so it's a little more natural looking, because I am hunched over my microphone right now. So, this is gonna be kind of funny. So today we're gonna be checking out Castlevania 2. Simon's Quest. Chat, should I move this to the ASMR category? Should we get horny goon bait in here? This sounds like a cardboard box. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Depending on who you ask, like Solid Snake, I mean, that could possibly be a good thing. Who knows? Look, this is a 3DIO. Everybody uses this microphone to jerk off, okay? Give me a second. I kind of prefer the regular mic. I mean, okay. I don't know. I mean, like, I really feel like this doesn't feel as three-dimensional as I want it to be, right? So, like, if I'm on the right side, it's a little, I guess that makes sense. I guess it works. It's just kind of, like, a little uncanny, a little strange. I don't know, chat. Should I stick to the regular mic, or should I, maybe it's a tuning thing? Maybe. It sounds like the right ear is quieter than the left ear, but that also could be because of the fact that I am slightly deaf in my right ear, so fuck it, I guess. Here, let me put up a poll. Alright, new poll. Mic. Regular mic. ASMR mic. We'll do like a two minute poll, right? And we'll check out what our results are by the end of it. I think Jenny ought to lean into it with the 3DIO, but generally I prefer the original. Okay, that's fair. I just Just want to see if there's like a difference between the two, right? I mean, there's only like a couple of you fellas here, so I mean, I'm not gonna go out of my way and like bend over backwards. But if I have to switch over to the regular mic, then that's totally fine too. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, should I try to make it like ASMR atmospheric or whatever? I mean, I won't be filleting. All right, cool, regular mic. You know, fuck it. It's two people. It's two people, so I will swap over. Oop, that's the wrong one. Okay. Alright, let me try and have it so that the mic is in my mouth too, so it's a little more like... Okay. Alright, can you hear me clearly? You can hear me, and things are comfy, cozy. Nothing's too out of the ordinary. This is back to the regular mic, so I'm just gonna try and have it pointed to my voice, and we'll do comfy, cozy reading. I'll start in a little bit. So, all right, cool. Should this be in the ASMR category? I don't know, but I'll put it there anyway because I think it'd be funny. All right, let's do it. I thought I swapped it over. What the fuck, man? All right. Okay. We'll try this. Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, a novel. Just clang a frying pan like every 20 minutes. I mean, okay, my water bottle doubles as a gong, so like... Anyway. Holy fuck. This book is not authorized, sponsored, or endorsed by Nintendo of America, Incorporated. Chapter 1. Tim. It looked as though Count Dracula was going to win the battle. I will drink your spirit like cherry pop, said the Count, flapping his cape and showing his fangs. Yes, Simon Belmont, you'll become one of my children of the night. Simon shivered with fear. Starting off strong. I will drink your spirit like cherry pop. That's exactly what Dracula's gonna say. They both stood upon a castle tower. Beyond was darkness, except for a cold moon in the sky, like a dead eye. Wind chuckled softly along the battlements. The air was full of the smell of full of the smell of the garlic clove necklace Simon had around his neck. Fellas, you never know if there's a vampire roaming around you. Remember to wear your garlic clove necklace when you go outside. Never leave home without it. Oh, that's so fucking funny. Why? No, Count Dracula, you will not drink my spirit this day, he said, snapping his thorn whip with a crack as loud as a gunshot. And by the way, it doesn't taste like cherry pop at all, so it's nothing you'd want anyway. Let me be the judge of that. And the vampire leapt at him. He flapped his long arms, and they became wings. His gigantic teeth gleamed as the mouth opened wide, seeking to bite. No, you don't, Count Dracula, said Simon Belmont, his long blonde hair streaming in the night wind. He held up the magical item he had worked so long and hard to obtain. For I have the power of the magic crystal, and that is the one. Timothy. Simon Belmont started. Timothy Bradley, are you listening to me? Simon dropped the magic crystal. It smashed to the floor and burst into 1,000 brilliant pieces. Count Dracula laughed cruelly. Ah, a vampire has no better ally than a mother. He leapt on the boy, and then the magical world of Castlevania dissolved around Tim Bradley like twinkling gossamer. No longer was he Simon Belmont, vampire hunter. Once more, he was in his boring bedroom. His mother stood in the doorway. Timothy, You've got school in less than 10 minutes. How many times do I have to tell you? No Nintendo games in the morning. You get too wrapped up in them, and then you're late for your classes. Tim put down the joystick. Ah, gee, Mom, I almost got Count Dracula again. Didn't you tell me that you already got the count? Judy Bradley asked, bending her frown towards the TV set. She was a pretty woman, even with her dark brown hair and curlers. But she didn't look so hot when she frowned, more than once as I recall. Wait, what the fuck? This is his mom. Why? What? Huh? Wait, no, what the fuck? Why is... Okay, it's like... Ah, Timothy Bradley. Oh yeah, here's his mom. She's a pretty woman. Not super hot, but you know, she's pretty hot, you know? What the fuck? Oh, this is starting off really strong. Holy shit. God, this is like, what is literally like if a writer just had a note saying, try to tangentially introduce the situation without directly writing about it. Like the characters. Yeah. 19 times, said Tim proudly, reaching up and turning off the TV set. This would have been my 20th. Well, just use your imagination to pretend the count got staked again and run along to school, chum. Tim shook his head as he got up and began digging through a pile of comic books for his prized pair of black leather Reebok shoes. Wow. Copyright, I guess. He found one of them and began to put it on. You just don't understand, Mom. I'll know I didn't win. That's what matters. He dropped down and began to feel under his bed for the other shoe. His hand encountered miniature model monsters and warriors, marbles, a slingshot, and finally came across a soft leather top of a tennis shoe. Well, mothers never do understand, I suppose, said Miss Bradley. That's part of our job. I do understand, though, that if this happens once more, your father's going to hear about this, and whoops, there'll go that allowance that keeps you nose high in comic books. Damn, that's fucking communism right there, dude. What a bitch of a mom. Holy shit, what a cunt. Tim slipped on the other shoe, tied it, message received, over, and I'm out of here. He grabbed his books and a half-eaten chocolate granola bar for breakfast, and ran past his mother and down the stairs, taking them two at a time. Although he was short, he wasn't exactly varsity sports material. Tim Bradley was quick. His friends wanted him to play pickup touch football all the time. Damn, touch football, not even real fucking football. What a pussy. He, however, was just as happy to exercise his finger and thumb in front of a video game. Hi, Nari. Welcome on in. Welcome, welcome. How are you? Like books, there were whole worlds he could get lost in, zooming with fighter planes, or roving through adventures with deadly ninjas. Tim's favorite game, however, was Konami's Castlevania. He had never gotten through Bram Stoker's famous novel Dracula. It was too darn scary. And Stephen King, whew! Tim liked fantasy plenty, but when it came to horror books, horror films, or horror comic books, Tim's knees were just turned to water. This is why he liked Castlevania so much. He could deal with Dracula there. He felt like he had control. Tim Bradley was a short 14-year-old who wore black horn-rimmed glasses just to be eccentric. Okay, so he's a fucking weirdo. So he's a fucking weirdo. Okay, cool. He doesn't have any fucking friends. He had dark hair and a narrow face. Okay, so he's literally just like a fucking horse. Okay, so he's ugly too. Cool. But it was an open and friendly face when he took off the spectacles. Tim Bradley certainly didn't think he was good looking. He just saw himself as pretty average. Holy shit. Unari, holy crap, thank you. Wow, holy crap, that's actually out of nowhere. Thank you for the, what is it, the fucking 10 gift subs? Holy shit. Thank you, I appreciate it. Fuck, what do I say? Thank her for the gift sub, and if you don't, I'll fucking kill you. Enjoy your ad-free viewing, and enjoy the emotes. Maybe we wiggle together and spin in solidarity. Tim Bradley. Certain didn't think he was good. Shit, fuck. Hold on. I need to make the ASMR better. Anyway, gotta get the gong out. Except at video games. At video games, he was a real champ. Let me tell you, fellas, this kid doesn't have a future. I'm gonna be honest. As he ran to school, where he attended the 8th grade, he took a bite of his chocolate granola bar. This is one of his weaknesses, not granola bars, chocolate. If he could, he would have eaten a Hershey's Big Block for breakfast. Mom compromised by buying him chocolate granolas with healthy stuff like raisins and nuts. Yeah, part of a nutritional breakfast. Too much chocolate is bad for your complexion, Tim, she say. Besides, it puts on weight. Fat fuck. Tim had a clear complexion, and he was slim, so it was hard to understand what his mom was talking about. Inari omnipresent. Inari's everywhere. Inari knows everybody I know. But since he still lived at home, and would until he grew up, boy, he couldn't wait to do that, he had to do what his parents said, more or less. Anyway, he knew that chocolate wasn't good for you. He just loved it. Always had, and probably always will. He'll probably develop type 2 diabetes by age 28, by the way. I'm calling it here, folks. Especially the gooey, rich fudge that his grandmother made, and that he would just wash down with big glasses of cold, foamy milk, and gosh, just thinking about it made him gobble up the rest of the... What the fuck is this exposition? And, like, what is this character introduction? What the fuck is Tim's... Okay, cool. If he had looked off to the right, behind a large clump of juniper bushes, he would have seen a famous hero from another dimension materializing with a quiet pop. As it happened, the famous hero had come specifically to speak to none other than Timothy J. Bradley. However, the hero was so overcome by culture shock that he could only stare at the wonders about he, allowing Tim Bradley to be on his way to homeroom. Oh shit, Chapter 2, Simon. Hi, Tim, said the cutest girl in junior high to Tim Bradley. Janet Morrison told me you could give me some good tips on where to get discount rates on video game cartridges. My brother's birthday is coming up, and I need to buy him a nice present. Blink of chocolate brown eyes, a smile so brilliant it dazzled Tim's brain from cerebrum to cerebellum. Wow. He'd always liked Carol Jantz since he'd started here at Howard Junior High last year, and though they shared homeroom and Carol was nice enough to acknowledge his existence, unlike other more socially conscious teenage females who fuck me, dude, what the fuck is this writer? Unlike other more socially conscious teenage females who shunned him, she'd never actually sought him out for advice yet. Tim Bradley looked around him at the rest of the homeroom class at the hand of the clock close to the 8:30 bell. How come everyone wasn't watching this momentous occasion? How come there weren't trumpets and firecrackers and streamers flying through the air like New Year's Eve? Well, Blockbuster Discount is a real goose sale on them now, actually. Carol sure smelled nice. Just gonna leave it there, by the way. I'm just gonna let that hang for a little bit. Carol sure smelled nice, fellas. Carol sure smelled nice, too. He'd realized he'd never been this close to her before, and it was not an unpleasant experience. Tim Bradley didn't normally notice girls much. There were far more important things to be thinking about in his life. That's based. That's based. Remember, video games are forever, woman or not. However, with her brunette good looks perking just inches from him, he certainly noticed Carol, and it was an experience with every bit of excitement of a nervous moment in the middle of the game Zelda. Huh. Oh, good, she said. But then a small cloud dimmed her smile. Oh dear. I haven't the faintest idea where Blockbuster Discount is, she smiled glowingly again. I don't suppose you'll be willing to take me there this afternoon, would you? Sure, Carol. I'd be more than happy to take you there. It's not far away from school. I mean, it's so close that we could just walk. Magnificent. That's not how 13-year-olds in the 80s fucking talked. Say shit like radical. Magnificent. She grabbed his forearm and squeezed it with enthusiasm. See you at the flagpole outside the main entrance at 3:15 p.m. It's a date. She gave his arm another squeeze, and she was off in a flurry of skirt, fluffy blouse. Wait. In a flurry of skirt, fluffy blouse, swirling hair, and that wonderful flowery perfume. A date. A date with Carol Jantz, 8th grade beauty. Shit, man. I don't remember my 8th grade year, by the way. I think, I was probably like a pimply kid. No, I didn't have pimples. I was a perfect, beautiful child. It all sounded okay to Tim Bradley, especially since it involved video games. Well, something he could talk about. He'd have problems with other stuff. Still, it wasn't a date, not like a movie at the mall or anything formal like that. I mean, I guess when you're 13, I guess so. Huh. It was just him and Carol going to Blockbusters looking for bargains, right? But the way his heart was beating, you would have thought she'd ask him to the junior prom. The bell rang. Tim picked up his books, drifted out into the hallway through the flow of noisy teens, elbowing and clomping towards first period classes. The odor of chalk dust and floor wax filled the halls. Tim was fascinating about kicking through a hot game of Double Dragon. Carol Jantz by his side when he ran smack into Bert Alvin by the boys' room. This is pretty banal so far. Like, I expected this to be bastardization of fucking Castlevania 2, not some fucking middle school drama. It's like running into a truck. Hey, said the 9th grader, frowning down on him from about 20 stories above. Tim peered up the heights from the level of Bert Allen's chest to his chiseled features above. Huh. Hey, Bradley. Huh. What's this about a date with my girl? Do 14-year-olds call their, like, girlfriends my girl? I mean, I guess. Okay. Date? Girl? Yeah, you know. As in, female, pretty, Carol, mine. Each of the last 4 words was accompanied by a hard poke from a forefinger. Uh-oh. Tim had forgotten. Carol had a boyfriend, a big boyfriend. Maybe she was getting ready to dump him, though. No matter. Tim was still dead meat if Donkey Kong here, though. Oh. It's, honestly kind of hilarious seeing this writer try to desperately pull strings at trying to ensure that, like, no, this is... I play video games too, gamer. Oh, how do you do, fellow kids? Tim was still dead meat if Donkey Kong here thought that he was trespassing on his territory. Oh, gee, Bert, she just wants me to take her to shopping for video game. This video jockey wants to ride off in the sunset with my girl, huh? Well, pal, let me tell you, I'm perfectly capable of taking Carol to any store she wants to go to. But I tell you, I feel like putting you out of commission just for thinking about going out with my girl. What to do? Look, Bert, I was just heading into the boys' room. Can we discuss this when I'm finished? Bert glared at him. Yeah, I guess so. Don't want to have you have any accidents while I'm pulverizing you. That's very thoughtful of you, Bert, which reminds me of a funny joke I heard the other day. Tim Bradley loved jokes. He loved puns, too. And like he always said, the badder the better. Why does the chicken cross the bathroom? Move it, man. I'll be waiting for you right here. This is pretty banal. Tim pushed through the swinging door. He went to a sink, ran cold water, and splashed his face. Boy, oh boy, was he in trouble. What was he gonna do? The word around school was that the last kid who crossed Bert Alvin was wearing concrete braces at the bottom of Bolmere Pond. What is he, part of the fucking Yakuza? Tim was pretty good when it came to wrestling Hulk Hogan or Macho Man on his Nintendo. What? But when it came to real life, he wasn't the kind of kid to fight much. She was really in kind of a jam, and it wasn't the grape kind either. Excuse me, said a deep voice from behind him. Are you Timothy Bradley? Tim jumped. Startled, he looked up in the mirror. Standing behind him was a tall, blonde-haired man who looked like a superhero from a comic book, only with shorter hair and a vulnerable, perplexed look on his face. But boy, his costume sure wasn't anything from this century. He wore what looked like handmade sheep's wool. He wore what looked like handmade sheep's wool jacket and trousers with a sackcloth shirt cinched at the waist by a wide leather belt. His black boots were leather as well. He smelled distinctly of garlic. Chad, I don't know, man. You meet a stranger in the bathroom and he smells like garlic. Are you speaking with him? Are you gonna befriend him? Do you think it's worth befriending the guy who smells like fucking garlic? I mean, it'd be one, I know my cat's named Garlic. It'd be one thing if my cat was unironically did smell of garlic, but Italian. Oh, mucho bueno. Wait, no. What the fuck do Italians even say? I don't know. I'm sure Enjo knows Italian more than I do. Ooh, I sure do love garlic. I sure do love oregano. Italians smell like oregano and tomato and olive oil. Yes, that's me. What is this? Halloween already? May I introduce myself? Tim noted a distinct accent. I am Simon Belmont. I have come here to your dimension to seek your help with a dreadfully important quest. The fate of Castlevania, to say nothing of my soul, my life, and the soul and life of a woman I love are at stake. Oh, but Tim, I thought I had problems. Chapter 3. The Return of Dracula. Sort of. Right. Here is Simon Belmont, the hero of Castlevania, standing before him, square jawed, jutting earnestly, broad chest heaving with purpose. Yes, this was Simon all right. Tim even noticed now that gripped feverishly in Simon's fist was a whip around his neck on a leather thong, on a leather thong around his fucking neck. What does that even mean? Okay. I'm trying to imagine this. I'm imagining a man who actually just straight up has a fucking thong wrapped around his neck right now. Around his neck, on a leather thong, was a beautiful golden ring that shone and glittered like the heart of a sun. Righteous dude, said a long-haired guy with leather pants, just coming into the boys' room. Aren't you Metallica or something? No, said Simon, eyes flashing with dark earnestness. I'm from Castlevania. Great group, man. Got all of your CDs. The guy cruised down to the boys' room, thrashing power chords on his heavy metal air guitar. Is Castlevania a fucking I thought it was Transylvania. These people, what the fuck? You know the reference is Bram Stoker, but you don't what the fuck? Writer sucks. If you don't know, don't ask, said Tim. Look, anyway, this is a joke, right? Everyone is ganged up on me because they know I'm an ace Castlevania player, and I'm being persecuted for my own hobby. No, I swear upon my sacred honor, insisted Simon. Sure, okay, suppose there really is a Castlevania, and you really are Simon Belmont. What's your girlfriend's name, huh? Answer me that. Why? Linda Entwistle, of course. You've done your research. Okay, is this an actual fucking Castlevania? No, there's no fucking way, is it? Am I fucking schizo? Oh, that's a real person, huh? He's Simon Belmont's girlfriend. Oh, but what do you know? The guy did play the video game. What the fuck? Yeah, Transylvania is the fucking location. Right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just called Dracula's. Dude, what the fuck? This writer sucks. I demand a refund. Why? You've done your research. Okay, tell me then, Mr. Simon Belmont, why do you want me to help you? Why? Because you are the best Castlevania player in this dimension. Because the holy ring, bestowed upon myself by none other than the beauteous Linda Entwistle, guided me to you to sincerely seek your aid. So he's a self-aware video game character. It's not like it actually is an isekai where he's just like, I'm just from the fucking 1500s. Against who? Why, Dracula, of course. You see, you can't be Simon Belmont. I defeat that crummy old vampire all the time. There is no time for an explanation. You must come with me immediately. I entreat you, Timothy Bradley, please. I don't know, Suddenly, there's a loud pounding on the boys' room door. Hey, Bradley, come on out of there and get what you deserve. Say, if you're Simon Belmont, how'd you get here? Why, through this interdimensional... Of course. Yeah. I don't know why I even questioned it. Why, through an interdimensional doorway, of course, created by this magical ring. Show me... Get out of here, and I'll believe you. Where would you like to go? Home. Come, grab my whip, Timothy Bradley. Well, it was worth a shot, thought Tip. Chat. I'm gonna level with you here. This is advice from an adult to young folk. If a man approached you, a blonde man smelling distinctly of garlic, asked you to grab his whip, don't. Stranger danger, if you will. Well, it was worth a shot, thought Tim. Anything to get away from that walking dynamite truck with biceps. At the very least, he'd give this a try, and if it didn't work, he could get Muscle Brain here to use his whip on Bert. He reached out and grabbed the leather whip. It felt as though he'd grabbed a live wire. Yow, he said. He felt his hair stand on end. Energy coursed full throttle through his body. A burst of light zapped through his eyes. Then everything became a pleasant calm after the silent bang. You really shouldn't play around with shocks, he told Simon. You could electrocute a guy. There's this guy outside I'd like you to... Wait, huh? The huh was because he just realized that he and Simon Belmont were no longer in the junior high school boys' room. He stood in his bedroom, back at home. This is where you live, is it not, Timothy Bradley? Yeah, wow, so it is. He turned newly admiring eyes towards the hero. You really are Simon Belmont. You acknowledge my identity. Thank you. Does that mean you are now willing to come back with me to my homeland to rescue it from the power of darkness, the disease called Dracula? Dracula, right. I thought the old popsicle sucker was dead. Oh, indeed. Very dead. His body has been cut up and it's been placed into 5 different places. Sounds pretty dead to me, Simon. What's the problem, then? His curse. It spreads across my homeland. I should have burned a body and scattered the ashes to the 4 winds. His followers have separated his body parts and hidden them. I don't know what to do, and Linda Entwistle has been snatched away from me. She came to me in a vision and gave me this ring. Oh, okay. So your girlfriend's not fucking real then, huh? Damn, Simon, you fucking lying. You don't have a girlfriend. Wait, I thought, was it Simon Belmont or Richter Belmont that didn't get laid? I could have sworn. Hold on, I just wanted to... Okay. That's a funny fucking thought. Oh, I'm putting myself to sleep with this, holy shit. Whoa, one thing at a time, please, said Tim. I'm a boy of my word, Simon. I'll come with you, but I've got to pack a few important items first. Tim began jamming stuff into an empty laundry bag. Stuff he was going to need, like chocolate bars, a Swiss Army knife, chocolate M&Ms, a sweater, some more hot... Holy shit, kid, you're actually gonna get fucking type 2 diabetes by the end of your fucking life. Like chocolate bars, a Swiss Army knife, chocolate M&Ms, a sweater, some more Hershey's chocolate bars, semi-sweet, milk, Mr. Goodbar, and gosh, don't forget the one with almonds. His Boy Scout kit, including compass and campfire starter, some Reese's Pieces. Hey, if Simon Belmont really existed, maybe he could lure EE down from the skies too. What? What does that even mean? Is that a... I can't tell if that's a typo or not. You mean like E.T.? Some clean underwear. And last of all, his very best imported Godiva chocolates. Girl Danny, thank you for the follow. Thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome to the rooftop. Welcome to the family. I hope you're having a good time. Oh wait, you followed for something dirty. Shit. pee pee, poo poo. Hold on. I gotta get some poop on screen. I gotta get like an actual pile of shit. There it is. On, save the image. There it is. There's something dirty. There it is. That's the dirty thing. No, I'll put it down here, actually. Guys, stop pooping on the fucking sheets, man. Come on. I have to wash that, you know. And last of all is very breast imported Godiva chocolates. For emergencies, celebrations, or just for the heck of it. What is all that? Inquired Simon Belmont. Chocolate, about my favorite thing in the world. Except maybe for bad jokes, puns, and, oh yeah, video games. I feel like if Simon Belmont were to rely on anybody, why the fuck would it be a kid that plays video games? God, that's fucking awful. Chocolate? We have no such thing in Castlevania. I'm sorry, no, chocolate was a thing in the 1500s. Fuck off. Chocolate is definitely a thing. Yeah, it is believed that chocolate arrived in Europe during the 1500s, probably brought over from the region of Mexico by Spanish friars who traveled out to the Americas. Although Swiss and Belgian chocolatiers are renowned, I guess it's believable that chocolate might not have been heard of, but it's definitely a thing from the 1500s. Dude, this fucking writer sucks. It's a good thing I'm bringing a supply then, Simon. It's candy. Oh, yes, candy. Very bad for your teeth, though. You know, you're a pretty serious guy, aren't you? I think, Timothy Bradley, you'd be pretty serious, too, if you only had 48 hours to prevent your body from being totally possessed by the evil spirit of Count Dracula himself. A voice from below interrupted them. Timothy, is that you? I hear voices up there. His mom's just schizophrenic. Oops, Tim gasped, really frightened now. That's my mom. Are moms a form of evil demon here on this plane? Said Simon Belmont, spinning about and grabbing his whip, ready for battle. Uh-huh. Worse. Can we just take off for Castlevania now before I really get into trouble? Yeah, but like imagine like the fallout of what would happen if Timothy just said to Simon Belmont, "Hey, beat my fucking mom up." And then this blonde motherfucker smelling of garlic beats the shit out of his mom, whipping her with a fucking thorn-ass whip. I mean, it would be pretty funny, not gonna lie. Let's be real here. Timothy, when your father hears about this, it's going to be no video games for a month. That should do the trick. The footsteps were on the landing now, coming closer, closer like claps of doom. Tim Bradley grabbed the whip. I think that dealing with Dracula is going to be a vacation. I think not, said Simon Belmont. Again the shock, the feeling of being uprooted and thrown into a pool of dazzle. Shapes and smells and colors swirled in on him like angry ghosts. A chill bit through his shirt, making him glad that he brought along a sweater and a sack. Then darkness clutched around him like a fist. Where are we? Tim asked when they seemed to come to a stop. Welcome, said Simon Belmont, to Castlevania. I mean, I guess. I guess that works. Chapter 4, Castlevania Caper. Okay, so this really is just an isekai. Okay. Castlevania, of course, was a name that Tim Bradley always figured came from Castle and Transylvania. The place that Simon Belmont called Castlevania, however, looked nothing like Tim imagined it might from the names alone. Certainly, he could see stone castles. Certainly, the place held all the menace implied by Transylvania, the birthplace for the legend of vampires. However, otherwise, it was quite a surprise. Golly, Simon, things are pretty creepy here in Castlevania at night, huh? Simon Belmont lifted an eyebrow. Creepy. Yes, certainly. But it's not night here now, Timothy. It's broad daylight. Tim Bradley did a double take. Day, but that's the moon up there, isn't it? No, Timothy, that's the sun. Since the curse of Dracula came upon this dimension, a shadow has been cast over my land, and a chill has touched its heart. Tim shivered. Boy, I'll say, take a look at this place. And what a place it was. Castlevania looked like a cluster of medieval towns, but drawn by a madman in a depression, and inked with about 1,000 colored shades of dark. Buildings slanted dangerously. Towers leaned further than the Tower of Pisa. That was a weird comparison to fucking make, but okay. The thatched roofed houses looked like they'd been left in the sun too long and then quick frozen. The place smelled foresty, but a forest filled with mold, fungus, and mildew. The single bright aspect was the taste of gingerbread in the air. It made Tim hungry enough to take out a Hershey bar and start chewing. The candy boosted his spirit. This kid has an actual fucking problem. Yeah, this kid actually has a fucking problem. You sure? Is this writer sure that this kid is slim? Like, honestly, like, this fucking bully he had should probably make fun of him for being fucking fat. Anyway, here we are, he said between bites. We won't have to worry about Bert or my mom in Castlevania. You want to tell me the rest of the story? Simon Belmont nodded gravely. When I killed Dracula, after all that struggle. Boy, you bet it's a struggle. It took me whole 2 months to win my first game, and I thought my thumbs were going to fall off. Simon frowned and put his hand on his hips. Please, you're going to have to keep a little quiet so I relate to my story. Relate to my story? You mean relay my story? Okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. After all that struggle, after I defeated Dracula, I did not realize that I should have burned his body and scattered the ashes. No, I thought I had won the day, and so I left him with the stake in his heart. I knew something was wrong. My beautiful Linda, whom Dracula had captured, did not come back to me. Simon put a hand over his heart, lowered his head, and sighed. A pang nudged him. Gee, he felt really sorry for this guy after all that effort. He doesn't get the love of his life back. It was at this moment that Tim Bradley determined that yes, he would do his very best to help Simon Belmont. This was a good man. What a rotten way to die. Oh, that's okay, Simon, said Tim. We'll get her back. Together. Even though this is the weirdest looking place I've ever seen, and I'm not really sure if this is a dream. Oh, make no mistake, this is no dream. Dracula is very real, and his power is far more than I thought it was. When I left his body in his coffin, his helpers came. They cut Dracula into 5 pieces. His evil soul swept throughout the dimension, a temporary stay from its banishment. For you see, Timothy Bradley, the soul of Dracula has 48 hours to find a body to possess so that it can remain here. Like a bad movie music, a wind swept through some nearby trees, snatching off the last of the leaves and rattling the limbs. A shiver of dread went up Timothy Bradley's spine. Yikes, he realized. This was no Halloween prank. This felt like the real thing. You mean, like me? Simon Belmont turned a haunted look towards Tim. No, me? Why would he want you? You must possess the last person he infected with his blood, said the hero. He unrolled his sleeve. On his arm were 3 parallel grooves filled with scabbed blood. The scars of Dracula, Timothy Bradley. I am the person he must possess, and this is the true problem. This is why I need an aide to help me through Castlevania. This is why I need your help so desperately. You mean, if he takes you over, you'll become a vampire? Yes! And then the monster shall again rule my beloved home of Castlevania. True dread jolted Tim Bradley. He felt the intense need for a Hershey's Big Block come over. What the fuck is this kid's obsession with and any problem's gotta solve it with chocolate? Is he a fucking woman on his period? Come on, man. There's better... Jesus Christ. Come on. This guy has a fucking problem, guys. This is Noona saying, don't be a deadbeat parent. You have to teach your kid how to not be dependent on food. Binge eating is not healthy, fellas. Please be advised. Sounds pretty serious, Simon. You're saying you've got 2 days to stop Dracula. I suppose that means you have to find those body parts, right? You put them together, you fight him again, you beat him again, and this time you destroy him forever. He found the chocolate bar and gripped it. Hey, you know, this would be a fantastic video game, he turned back around, starting to tear the wrapping off the candy bar. In fact, when I get back, I'm going to write to a game company immediately and suggest that, yikes. The yikes was said in no good cause, for Simon Belmont was no longer totally Simon Belmont. Greetings, mortal, said the voice of Count Dracula. Oh, shit. Come to Castlevania for an early and unpleasant death, I take it. Tim Bradley dropped his candy bar. Oh, fuck. Oh, a waste of a fucking candy bar. God damn. Holy shit, fellas. Okay, Chapter 5. Dr. Simon in Mr. Dracula. Simon Belmont was undergoing a transformation like nothing Tim Bradley had ever seen. His back was bending over like a hunchback's, and his fingers grew hairy. His nose lengthened and tapered to a point, his face thinning, his nose drawing into a cruel sneer. The hair became limp and greasy. It was like Dr. Jekyll turning into Mr. Hyde, only much, much worse. And the eyes became narrow slits behind which pupils glowed like live coals in a furnace. They burned through Tim like laser beams edged with razor blades. If Tim Bradley could have screamed, he would have let out a long, loud one. Unfortunately, he was so paralyzed with fear that he could barely move, let alone make a sound. Dracula was taking over Simon Belmont's body. Aha! You are a puny little nothing, aren't you? Why ever did Simon Belmont choose you? This is the famous dialogue from the prologue of Symphony of the Night. Instead of what is a man, he goes, you're a puny little nothing, aren't you? Holy shit, what is this? This is awful. Asked Dracula's voice, coming from Simon's transformed body. I can see that my success in taking over his body is virtually assured. Oh yeah, Tim blurted out, breaking out of his freeze. I happen to already beaten you 19 times. Is that right, mortal? I certainly remember none of those times. You are a silly thing, aren't you? I shall enjoy hearing you squeal and feeling you squirm when I sink my lovely fangs into your soul. Is that the tooth? Tim shot back. Ah! Cried Dracula's voice. Simon's body jerked back as though physically struck. A pun. I abhor puns. If there's anything I really can't stand, it's stupid, silly puns. Really? Well then, Drac, maybe you know why a duck flies looking down. Oh. Oh no. No, this is actually like a children's book. Fellas. There was at least something to be said about the Metal Gear thing, but like, holy shit, no, this one's worse than the Mega Man one. No, stop or I shall tear you to pieces, because he doesn't want to quack up. The vampire's face now seemed to be merely superimposed over that of Simon Belmont's, and that double-imaged face was freaking out. Dumb joke, a stupid joke. No, Drax. You know, I like to imagine that Tim Bradley is just Sneck. Because Sneck always has, like, the worst fucking jokes. And, I mean, I appreciate every single one of them, but I mean, like, it's fun. Did you know that Sneck is really effective at killing vampires? Anyway. No, Drax, said Tim Bradley, sensing victory within his grasp. It's a foul joke. The vampire's face contorted with outrage. His eyes bugged so wide. They appeared as though they were going to pop out. Bah, he said. I'm actually a sheep. I shall revenge myself upon you for that, mortal. Take heed. Your blood and your soul will belong to me. Don't count Dracula your chickens before they I want to fucking kill myself, man. This is like legitimately really fucking bad. No, Count Dracula. Didn't even get a scream out for that one. The fanged mouth just opened incredibly wide, and then pop. The flattened picture of the Count imploded, leaving Simon back the way he'd originally been, looking only more pained, if that were more possible. I don't know about this one, fellas. That was the very worst yet, he said. The accursed vampire almost had me then. Come on, I have played Castlevania, Waynes, but you're holding a Castlevania Simon Quest book. Yeah, this is, I'm John Naz on the YouTube side of things. So, back in the 80s, there was actually a series of books sponsored by Scholastic called Worlds of Power. Because of video games were really new and they were the newfangled thing, a lot of adults wanted kids to just start reading books. So they published a bunch of books under the label Worlds of Power. So you ended up having things like Metal Gear, Ninja Gaiden, fucking Bionic Commando, Infiltrator, alright, Mega Man 2, and so on and so forth. And, you know, it's kind of neat, I guess. They're all really bad, like infamously bad, and there's a reason why a lot of this stuff has been pretty much forgotten to history. It's pretty bad. But this is an isekai. I mean, it's also like just a calm reading stream, so I don't know, man. Fucking pee pee poo poo. Alright. Which, like, I don't know, man. So when is the Super Mario Bros. Movie watch along, Nooners? We're gonna watch the Super Hornio Brothers Void. No, but like, shit, man. Is there a novel? Okay, let me look up video game novelizations. I wanna see this. List of novels based on video games. There's an Alan Wake book. Wait. Is there like a bunch of Assassin's Creed books? The Bard's Tale, Baldur's Gate, Batman, Arkham, Battlefield, Biocock, Blaster Mat. Okay, yeah. There are Borderlands books. Okay. There's a Command and Conquer book. Holy shit. I kind of want to see if I should probably start reading like shitty fan fiction on stream. I feel like that would be somewhat entertaining, but I know a lot of people are into that kind of stuff, which I mean, we'll read shitty gay Sonic fan fiction or something like that and be pretty fucking ass. Anyway, hey, give yourself some credit. You put some willpower into the battle, I'm sure, said Tim. He was feeling braver already. That old fool wasn't such a danger after all. Ha! This would be just like an easy video game. You realize now that Count Dracula will be after your body and soul as well. Tim shrugged nonchalantly. I can handle it. If he defeats me and gains the use of my body and remains in this dimension, he will take great pleasure in flaying every inch off of your skin. Tim blinked. And after he pours salt on your raw nerves, he'll dip you into a vat of acid. I mean, I guess. Tim gulped. And then, Timothy Bradley, he will start torturing you. Simon, I think I'm gonna need a little more chocolate for all this, for this little expedition. And I just remembered, I'm allergic to garlic. Maybe you'd better get my older brother, Fred. He's really much better than I am at Castlevania. This kid has a fucking problem. This kid's a pussy. However, Simon Belmont had already spun on his heel and had started down the road. Come, Timothy Bradley, we shall go to the local tavern, where we shall get our supplies and plan our strategy. Tim Bradley stood still for a moment, trying to figure a way out of this business. But then the darkness closed in, cold and ominous. He grabbed his bag of necessities and tripped on down the cobblestones after the blonde hero. The 7 Deadly Sins, fellas, Chapter 6. Tim Bradley took a drink of the hot cocoa he'd mixed over the hearth fire of the Heart and Soul Tavern. So, what now, Simon, he said, leaning back into the chair, feeling much better here in the soft shadows of this comfortable inn. The chubby, red-nosed innkeeper, a fellow by the name of Peterson, had treated them to a filling meal of cheese, bread, and fruit. Don't be fucking rude. Don't call him chubby. He's bulking. He'd also packed a nice backpack for Simon as well. Doubtless, they would get hungry during their quest, and even Tim had to admit he couldn't live on chocolate alone. Now, we rest, said Simon, munching on an apple. We rest and we wait until nightfall. Tim spluttered all on his... What does that even mean? Tim spluttered on his milk. What? Wait until nightfall? I mean, isn't it dark enough already? Can't we start like tomorrow morning when that joke of a sun comes back out? Simon shook his head. First, we need rest. But not that much rest. Second, we need energy. Have a chocolate bar. No, not that sort of energy, Timothy. Magical energy. For you see, at night, wraith ghouls emerge from their damp holes. What is that even? Okay. He held his thorn. At night, wraith ghouls emerge from their damp hole. See, they say wraith ghouls, and the first piece of imagery that pops in my head are fucking KKK members. He held up his thorn whip. Linda has told me that if I dispatch them with this whip into the dimension from which they came, they will leave behind the energy that animates them, and I and you will be able to absorb that energy. Ghouls, huh? Tim shuddered. So then, what's next after that? You simply follow me. I've been given some clues as to the locations of the body pieces of Dracula. However, we must obtain other magical items to aid us on our quest, along with assistance from the townspeople, priests, and others. However, we must be careful, for the power of Dracula is such that these people may tell us lies. Somehow we must verify their truth or untruth. Perhaps me might find a magical tool to allow us to do so. We bump around in the dark, asking directions, Tim asked, a distinct uneasiness inside of him. If you'd like, we may leave now and take what we can into the light. However, in order to get the dimensional energy we need, we shall have to hunt for monsters in the outlying woods beyond. Never mind, said Tim. I guess I'll take my chances tonight. He tried to cheer up. Hey, should we bring diamonds? Diamonds? What diamonds? Because don't they say diamonds? Simon Belmont looked at Tim as though he were from another planet, which he was, of course. Well, another dimension anyway. Tim couldn't see that joke. That Simon was the deadly serious type who didn't get jokes. It didn't matter. The dude was big and the dude was brave, and he meant well. Gee, said Tim, laughing. At least Dracula gets my jokes. He doesn't like them much, but he gets them. Simon shrugged and proceeded with his instructions. This is actually kind of painful to fucking read through, fellas. You know what? Maybe I should do Fallout Equestria as like a regular series of books, of things to read. I mean, I'm sure it would be better than this, unironically. I'm actually not joking about that. Good lord. Let's see. What you witnessed back on the streets was my worst attack yet. Dracula is attempting to control me. However, usually he works into the traditional ways, like temptation. What is this, like the story of Jesus Christ? You see, we all have dark stories, Timothy Bradley. We are all mixtures of good and evil. Yes, even I, Simon Belmont, hero of Castlevania. It is through this avenue, this dark side, that the spirit of Dracula generally sneaks up on me. This is one of the reasons I need you to help me fight him off, not only in the manner you used before, but by pointing out to me the telltale signs by my behavior. You mean, like if you start kicking old ladies, Simon's eyebrows knitted with bafflement, but then understanding dawned on him. He did not, however, smile at the exaggeration. Ah, yes, I see. No, I don't normally kick old ladies. That'd be a sin. In fact, if I begin to show signs of committing any of the 7 deadly sins, warn me. The 7 deadly sins, huh? Let me see. What are those? Ah, yes, gluttony. That's one. Tim took a big mouthful of his cheese sandwich and then dug into his sack for a chocolate bar. This kid's going to fucking hell. This kid's going to hell. Uh, okay. Lethargy, Tim yawned. You know, I could use a little sleep. Beware, Timothy Bradley. Count Dracula could well be tempting you. Tim blinked, but then waved off the notion. What? Because I'm hungry and a little tired? Simon nodded. Perhaps you are right. In any event, the other's deadly sins are deceit, jealousy, lust, anger, and blasphemy. Wait, hold on. Gluttony, lethargy, jealousy, lust, anger, blasphemy, deceit? That doesn't sound right. I mean, like, pride? Where the fuck is greed? Huh? What? Okay. Blasphemy? Wait, blasphemy's one of the... Okay. If you should see any of them... Like, this... Huh? Like, this is, like, written into the Bible. Like, this is already fucking set in stone. What do you mean? What do you mean? If you see any of them creeping into my actions or words, you should hit you over the head with a sledgehammer? No, that would hurt me too much. Hey, it's a joke. Don't you Castlevanians have jokes? Of course we do, Timothy. We are not zombies. Simon cleared his throat. How many vampires does it take to light a lantern? Hey, well, great a joke. What kind of like a light bulb joke? I give up. What's the answer? Simon Belmont scratched his head. I seem to have forgotten it. No matter. Not important. What is important, vitally important, is our mission. Wow, thought Tim. Vampires, ghouls, monsters, the 7 deadly sins. A quest, danger lurking in every mildewed corner. This is not going to be your average Tim Bradley night of chocolate, popcorn, video games, chocolate, comic books, and more chocolate. How many times does the word chocolate come in? 57 fucking times. Alright. This is going to be one righteous adventure. Chapter 7. Ghouls just want to have fun. Simon Belmont snapped his whip. Rack. The end of the whip hit the ghoul right in the misty stuff that composed its chest. You carry, VT. Thank you for the raid. Thank you. What an absolute dad. What an absolute chad. Alright, my insect girl can't be this cute. Boo, Ghost Raid. Hi, welcome on in. Welcome. I hope you're having a good time. Hi, fellas. I hope you guys are cozy. If you have any post-stream rituals you gotta take care of, go ahead and take care of it. But, if you're willing to stick around, I'm Noona. I'm your morally ambiguous older sister from the rooftops. I play all sorts of games on this channel. I talk about guns and I cook sometimes. Boo, Ghost Raid. Hi, Yukiri and Nemrag. Welcome on in, guys. I hope you guys are having fun. What's, my insect girl can't be this cute about? Is it a dating sim? I hope it is. I did a stag beetle girl, or a cockroach girl. No, maybe not a cockroach girl. Let's be fucking real here. But a honeybee, damn. That shit's, you know she's fucking hairy. I don't know what that even means. Raiders, if you have any, if you're new here, back in the 80s, Scholastic published a bunch of novels under the label of Worlds of Power. They really wanted kids to read books, so they wrote a bunch of books. So, these are a lot of classic titles, like things like Mega Man 2, Bionic Commando, Wizards and Warriors, Ninja Gaiden, Blaster Master, Metal Gear. The Metal Gear one's really funny. The Mega Man one and this one's not as great, but it's a visual novel with a cute insect girl. Ooh, that's fun. I'll have to look this one up. I do think that let's see. My insect girl can't be this cute. Is this new? Oh, it's on Steam. Wait, when did this come out? Oh shit, this is new. Damn. Alright, cool. That's actually pretty sick. Fellas. There's we better love our insect girls, huh? Alright, cool. Is there is what is it? I think when I think of like insect girls, the first one that comes to mind is Juniper, the VTuber, right? She has like a moth form, and it's every single fucking like monster girl, monster moth form version of her that she comes out with. It's always so striking to look at. It's so cool. Um, I don't know, man. I think we all love our monster girls. We all love our monster girls here. Um, but yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of reading. This might not. This is for a literal children's novel, so I don't know how much this is a. I don't know how like interesting this is for many people, but um, we're having a little bit of fun. We're having a little bit of fun, and we're just goofing about, being very silly. I'm not very good at this whole like ASMR. I'm not even using the right mic. But hey, look. Let me just do this. I'm tucking you into bed. Hold on, where? I'm tucking you into bed, and you're gonna get cozy. You're gonna get cozy, and you guys and Rakanuni and they're just gonna get real cozy. I mean, look at him. Look how cute he is, right? Just sort of snuggled up into his fucking pillow. He's so cute. Anyway, the end of the whip hit the ghoul right in the misty stuff that composed its chest. The thing was hurled back a footstep, but then it righted itself and just kept on coming. What did I pop into? Damn, you just missed the explanation. I'll do it again, though. Moshi, so, back in the 80s, during the era of the NES, there were a bunch of video games, or video games were like the newfangled thing, and if you don't remember, like, a lot of like, parents would think that, like, video games were, like, the second coming of the Antichrist or something, that, like, they were the work of the devil. And so, in order to encourage kids to read books, what they would do is that they wrote a bunch of novels under the label called Worlds of Power. They were novels all based off of NES video games, and they're not good. They're mostly forgotten to history. You can probably find them somewhere, but, like, they're not good. We read, Metal Gear, and that was legitimately like a so bad it was like fucking fantastic kind of novel. Like, for example, Solid Snake would rub like panther musk on himself to deter dogs from attacking him, or there's like a hallway that's comprised of microwaves, and in order to not be microwaved, he would have to fucking eat like as many rations into his mouth, and he would just have to keep swallowing and swallow. It's the most batshit insane thing I've ever fucking read, but it's so funny to me. It's so good. Yeah, I don't know, man. So I know I'm not using my ASMR mic because I personally, some other people asked for my regular mic, but if I swapped over to the actual ASMR mic, it'd be a little different. People have said that the audio quality is a lot worse, but I can also get really close to your ear. I'm not sure how good it sounds, in all honesty, but I mean, it's a fucking massive, massive genre of people who do all sorts of ASMR stuff on Twitch, so shit. A weird fucking looking mic though. Like, let's be real here. It's a pair of ears, and I can like finger the ears, or like, lick the ears, and you can hear every single mouth sound that comes out of my waking, breathing existence. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Chat, should I continue using the 3D IO, or should I go back to the Shuri SM7B? I personally like the SM7B, but I mean, I ain't gonna stop any of you if you guys like the 3D IO. I mean, there's people that like tonguing the fucking like microphone, or it's weird, man. Listening to ASMR, holy crap. Like, what is it? If I like start fingering the ears too, like, damn, like,
Holy shit. Fuck, I just think that ASMR is annoying.
Anyway, let's go back to an actual microphone. Alright. Simon pulled his whip back, readying it to crack again. Tim Bradley just stood in his tracks, frightened out of his mind. This wasn't just any two-dimensional program TV image dot array that could be handled with a joystick. What does that mean? It could have just been this wasn't just any two-dimensional video game handled with a joystick. It's just two-dimensional program TV image dot array that could be handled with a joystick. This was a living, breathing, so rotten it smelled worse than Tim's socks monster. No, scratch that. This was a dead, living, breathing monster. The thing was about 7 feet tall. Its gray skin hung down and The thing was about 7 feet tall. Its gray skin hung down in tatters, revealing bones and worms beneath. Its popping orbs looked like the eyes of a long dead fish. But when you looked closer at the grim thing, it got worse. When you looked closer, you saw that the thing was only half solid. It seemed to be composed half of flesh and half of gray smog, lit from within by an unearthly glow. Simon's whip unfurled, catching the thing again, this time squarely in its skull face. Also, Moshi, this is just kind of like a chill reading stream, so like if you are willing to you want to like tuck into bed and like put this in the background, I can totally fucking put you to sleep, dude. This time, the whip had instant effect. An explosion like an M80 going off in a garbage can sounded at... What? Like, wait. What? Huh. Interesting. Oh, okay. It's a firecracker. I was like, wait, is that a fucking grenade? Shivers of energy-infested ectoplasm radiated around the whip's end. The whole creature shook. Then, with a bright shimmer, it seemed to wrench away from existence, as though some kind of hook had come out of nowhere and dragged it into a black hole, leaving only its outline behind. The outline turned into a dazzle that glittered over Simon Belmont like fairy dust. Simon shivered, and his eyes got wider for a moment, and then he recoiled his whip around his hand and nodded towards Tim. Ah, yes, energy. Already I feel recharged with vigor. I am ready for another. Well, good for you, Simon. I'm ready to go back to that safe, warm tavern. Tim wasn't serious. He knew that he had a job ahead of him that he had promised to do, but he wasn't the sort of to weasel out of his commitments. But all in all, he would rather be back at the tavern, sipping hot chocolate than fighting against ghouls in the middle of a dark Castlevania night. They'd finished their dinner back at the Heart and Soul. The innkeeper had wanted them to eat more, but Simon had insisted that too much to eat and drink would make them tired and heavy for tonight's action. Just a little cat nap would do, he insisted. And that was just what they'd had, too. A cat nap, right there on one of the benches of the tavern, right beside two tavern cats. Fortunately, Tim's allergies weren't acting up, so he actually managed to go to sleep despite all the excitement of the day, and all the excitement yet to come, and all the caffeine and the chocolate bars he'd devoured. It must have been all that warm milk he'd drunk. When he'd woken up, it was dark outside, so he figured it was time to go. However, the sun was still up. Even though it was low in the sky, they spent the remaining minutes warming up their muscles with exercises. The Simon had prepared himself by sitting very still with his legs folded underneath him. Tim had prepared himself by eating a bag of M&M's. That's not exercise, that's just getting fat. This kid's a fat fuck. Simon's voice brought him back to the present. There's no time for loafing in warm taverns, Timothy Bradley. Look, here come two more ghouls. You take one while I deal with the other. Sure enough, coming out of a narrow alley like two gravestones with arms and legs and bad attitudes shambled two ghouls. They hissed harshly, opening mouths filled with sharp teeth. Long claws reached out to rend and tear at their victims. All in all, it was not a pleasant sight. Tim Bradley lifted the sword that Simon had given him just after they'd arrived at the inn. He would have preferred a gun. Yeah, you know what? Me too. However, Simon Belmont had informed him not only the fact that there were no guns in Castlevania, but that even if they were imported from another dimension, they wouldn't work here. Gunpowder didn't explode in Castlevania. Things work on magical principles here, Timothy, Simon had explained, and also on the moral laws of good and evil. This is why I am very good, and Dracula is very bad. It's a very binary way of looking at it, man. I don't know. Anyway, now Tim didn't have the time to worry about the niceties of ethics and moral philosophy. He had a snarling creature to deal with. The ghoul bore down on him with surprising speed for something that looked like it was going to fall apart at any moment. Tim swung the sword over his head towards the creature, but somehow missed. The metal sword crashed down on the cobbles noisily. Crack. Sang the song of Simon's whip from behind him as the hero dealt with his ghoul. The ghoul's razor-sharp fingernails reached out and ripped at Tim's jacket. The whole arm was torn. "Yow, my mom's gonna kill me," said Tim. The ghoul just snarled and pushed its outstretched hands towards Timothy Bradley's throat. "You rat, I hope you have a mom, 'cause that's who I'm sending you back to." Damn, that's a... Sure showed him. With all his might, Tim lifted the sword and swung it towards the spot where Simon's whip had been so effective on the last ghoul. The thick, pitted blade sliced into the mist skin, and immediately sparks like a blowout in a spiral galaxy. He watched with astonishment. The ghoul slowly faded away before it was completely invisible. It was yanked from its existence on this plane, leaving behind only its outline. This outline, however, hovered, shimmering for an instant, and then like a tiny piece cut from a whirlwind of light, it flew up the metal of Tim's sword. It felt as though he'd stuck both hands into an electrical... What? 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 It felt as... No fucking way. Alright, sure. Kids, don't do this. Don't do this, fellas. Energy coursed through him, but without a buzz, and it felt like his hair was standing on end. He felt as though he had been jolted awake. "Goodness," he said, blinking as he turned to Simon. "That really packs a wallop." He felt as though he'd just run a mile and then drunk a quart of Gatorade. Refreshed, vital, alert. "I feel like somebody just changed my batteries." "Yes, you see, now we have sufficient energy to deal with the next part of our mission." "Which is, pray tell?" asked Tim, fairly bouncing on the balls of his feet. "According to Linda Entwistle, first we must locate the rib of Dracula. That must be his funny bone. He sure seems to have lost it." Gosh, he felt alive and buoyant. He felt like he could conquer the world and then play 2 hours of touch football on the evening. "Yes, perhaps she said that we would receive a clue as to where it's at whereabouts from the central signpost in the middle of Castlevania." Simon's face twitched. "First, though, I seem to be hungry again. Perhaps we should go back to the Heart and Soul Tavern. There we can eat a decent meal. Eggs and flapjacks, I should think. Oh, yes, and cake with whipped cream, and apples, lots of apples. And you can eat your chocolate, and then we can wash it all down with yards of foamy ginger ale, and then we can eat sausages and jams, and perhaps we can think about dessert." It sounded good to Tim. He was always hungry. Yeah, he was a growing boy. He could do with a couple of Cadbury bars, if only to celebrate his victory of the ghoul. But then he called himself up short. This was the sort of warning sign that Simon had told him about. Wasn't gluttony one of the 7 deadly sins? His stomach rumbled. Still, some pancakes would be awfully delicious. No, he told himself. This is why he was here, to help Simon resist temptations, not fall to them himself. He had a responsibility to fulfill, and he meant to do just that. He kicked Simon Belmont in the butt. Not really hard, but firmly enough to wrest his attention away from treats and sweets. "Ouch," said Simon. He lifted up his whip up, turning a look of anger and menace on Tim. "Why do you strike me, mortal? You see, you're even starting to sound like Dracula." Simon's mouth opened. "Yes, you're right. And so you kicked me into my nether parts." Simon patted Tim upon his shoulder. "Excellent. Already Linda has guided me truly in selecting such a fine fellow as you." Tim felt a stirring of a feeling. He really liked this guy. Dude, I don't know, man. He really liked this guy. When Simon Belmont had a good thought about someone, he shared it. And he was thoughtful, sincere, and honest. So what if he was a bit on hip? He had his own brand of cool. Any time, Simon. Tim looked down the intersecting streets, deserted now, all wrapped in night and eerie mist. Well, we'd better be going to that signpost now, right? The question is, which way? Right, my true friend. The way to the signpost is no problem. Follow me. And Tim, trusting Simon to show him the correct way, followed. Chapter 8, The Signpost. "Good grief," said Simon Bradley, gazing upon the thing with a mixture of awe and bafflement. "This is the weirdest signpost I've ever seen." As I said, Timothy Bradley, things are not the same here in Castlevania as they are in your dimension. Boy, I'll say, the sign was normal around the edges. Its stand was of wood, solid oak from the looks of it, and the frame was wood as well. However, it was the image inside the frame that was weird. Clouds, said Tim. It looks like just a muddle of clouds. I feel like I'm looking over into the Twilight Zone. He looked over his shoulder. Is Rod Sterling hiding somewhere? By the way, Twilight Zone, cultural reference. But, wow, this did not age well. Holy shit. But what good is it going to do in getting our directions to Dracula's chest bone? Just a minute, my friend. Observe. From around his neck, Simon took the leather thong to which was tied the magical ring. Why is it a leather thong? You can just call it a fucking string, man. That brought him to earth and to Tim. He picked the ring up between his fingers, and it sparked with his touch. You know, I don't think I can do this. This is legitimately painful to read. Simon held it forth to the sign. The golden glitter touched the wood. Tim Bradley gasped with wonder. The clouds exploded with light. Tim had to hold up his hand to shield his eyes. There was violet light, red light, a little bit of rainbow dazzle, then the light faded into a soft and simple radiance surrounding a face. It was a woman's face, and it was the most beautiful woman that Tim Bradley had ever seen. She had eyes the color of the sky, and its most blue, and hair the color of honey. Her skin was soft and pure and clean. She was smiling, but it was a smile of sadness, of melancholy. Linda, said Simon Belmont, my wonderful and beautiful Linda Entwistle, you were correct. At night the signs become portals into the dimensions where you are imprisoned. Linda Entwistle smiled understandingly at her beloved. I should think that's a fairly obvious, darling, but I see that you have successfully brought the hero of mirth here, and my goodness, he is a fat fucking young man. Tim blushed. Hi, was all he could manage. He's already saved me from Dracula twice, said Simon. But time grows short, Linda. We must seek out the 5 vital parts of Dracula you've described. The closest, you say, is Dracula's rib. But where is this rib? Linda Entwistle's image shook and quivered as though the sign were a magical television screen and something were interfering with the transmission. There are limits to the power of the ring you hold, my darling, she said. It too is affected by the curse of Dracula upon the land of Castlevania. When I attempt to tell you the direct truth of the locations of these parts of Dracula, the message is garbled. Therefore, I must tell you indirectly through puzzles and riddles. Oh. Puzzles and riddles, said Simon, cringing. I am not too good with puzzles and riddles, Linda. You know that. Yes, my dear. I remember how baffled you were when we played such games as children. However, this is one of the reasons I had you seek the help of Tim Bradley here. Tim, you are good with such brain teasers, are you not? Well, that's what my teachers say, and I do really like to do crosswords and stuff sometimes, and I'm not really the best. I don't know why you chose me. She smiled. Perhaps for your modesty. Now, there are people. What? Oh. Now there are people. A kind of static frizzle to the screen, shot with veins of blood red. Different. These will also be told in puzzles and riddles. Stop, said Simon. We didn't get the last part. There was an interruption. Linda Entwistle cleared her throat. I said there are people of Castlevania and the surrounding environs who have learned of the whereabouts of these pieces of Dracula, and they know the howabouts to get them. Precisely. You are a sharp fellow, young Tim. She sent him a smile. Tim's pulse quickened. Wow, forget Chick Harold Jantz back home. A guy could really fall hard for a lady like Linda Entwistle. Tim could feel a stupendous crush squeezing on this man's pop the fucking boner. Ah, yes, of course, said Simon. All good Castlevanians would want to rid this land of Dracula. All good people everywhere want to get rid of a vampire, Simon, Linda admonished. However, to protect themselves, these people must deliver their messages in riddles and puzzles as well. Understood, said Simon impatiently. As much as I adore you, Linda, we really need to find out the location of that rib. And what you need can be found, said Linda Entwistle, where love is joined in Sunday's sound. And then, with a flash of colored smoke, the image of Linda's face swept away, replaced by the previous clouds. Where love is joined in Sunday's sound, said Simon, scratching. Well, now, that doesn't make much sense. Linda, love isn't a thing, so how can it be joined? And days don't make any sounds as far as I know. All Tim could think was that he was glad this guy had a lot of goodness, bravery, and muscle, because he sure didn't have much in the way of That's a fucking rude thing to say. Man, motherfucker saved your life. She wants us to go to a church, Simon. Love is joined by marriage, usually in a church, he said. Are there any churches nearby? Well, actually, there's only one church in Castlevania, so I guess that must be the one she wants us to go into. Let's just get to that church before any more of these weird ghouls show up. I enjoyed the energy boost, but I might not be as lucky next time with the sword. Perhaps we can get you another weapon, and at least you'll have a choice, if need be. They started off, Tim looking wistfully back behind them, the signpost where Linda Entwistle's face had been seen. I'm gonna be honest. We're like a little over a third through this. I don't know if I can do this one, fellas. This is rough. This is really poorly fucking written. It's like one thing if it was like funny, but this is just bad. This is like just legitimately kind of fucking bad. I don't know, man. Alright. Then I might preemptively end this one early, because I don't really think that I can make something as entertaining out of this as I did with some of the other stories that we've read. But it's okay. I mean, there'll be more stories to come, and hopefully we'll find something that's, comfy to do. So, thanks for, I might, Jack. What, do you want me to keep going, Dad? Are you enjoying this? I don't know, man. I feel like this one hasn't been as, like, entertaining or funny. And it's a shame, because, like, it's kind of silly. It's kind of funny. Jack, do you want me to keep going? I'll go if you, what is it? What a painful, yeah, no, it's pretty bad. I don't know. Nah, just follow your gut. I think, there'll be better stories. I'll read, like, I don't know, fucking Fallout Equestria or some shit like that next time. I'll do something stupid or funny. Alright. Fuck it. You don't have to. No, I think reading streams can be fun. I don't know. We'll figure out something else for the next Friday stream. But anyway, I think I'll end early, and I'll send it over to Cha-Cha, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be playing some Deus Ex. And everybody knows that Deus Ex is one of the best times that we can possibly have. Alright, here's the Discord, and here's the raid message. I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for joining me. Read some Sonic fan fiction with Reddy. Honestly? Real. Yo, honestly? Real. I can do that. I'll do that. I'll ask Reddy for some Sonic fan fiction, and then I'll read it for him. Alright, cool. Thanks for joining me, fellas. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, okay? Good night. Take it easy, and as always, get the fuck off my roof. Good night!